Okay, let's do some Mathity-Math. We are continuing our exploration of quadratics with real-world applications. This is question number 3. It's a little bit harder than the previous question. Remember, we're doing it by levels. We'll call this a level 3 question, okay? If you're not ready for this question, go take a look at the previous video. That was a level 2 question, and the one before that was level 1. With that said, let's go. All right. So we have a company that is modeling their profits, their weekly profits, right? And it says their profits is in thousands of dollars. Here we go. And X is the number of units in hundreds. What that means is if you got the number 1, it actually means 100. If you get the number 4, it'd be like 400, okay? So that's the whole idea. Now looking at this, we're gonna look at what they make and how much money they make. So it says, how many units should they sell to maximize the profit? Okay, so how many units should they sell to maximize the profit? And again, I think this would really help us to draw a little sketch to kind of understand what's going on. And actually, this one's kind of interesting. So when we look at this, the y-axis is our profit. And the x-axis of x, that's like the units we make. And actually our C value here is down negative, which makes sense. If you start a business, you know, usually it takes money to start a business. So you're starting below 0 because you had to pay some money to get this thing going. And then the idea is because our A value is negative, our quadratic is gonna go up, 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 and then down, 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 down. So that's kind of, and this will go this way too, but we can't go, you can't make negative products. So actually this area over here, not really an option. You can't make negative stuff. Okay, so anyway, here is like a little sketch to show the idea. So when they say how many units should you make to maximize the profit, so our maximum profit would be up here on the vertex, and the units that it took to get there, that would be the X value. That would be the X value that goes into this vertex. That's how many units get inputted to output the biggest profit. So right here, we can just remember that when we want to find the X value of our vertex, we can use this formula, negative B over 2A. And now we can just substitute in, okay? So let's just do some quick substitution. My B value is 12. And my A value is negative 2. Okay, just doing a little bit of math here. I'm gonna have 12 over negative 4. I have 2 negatives, so those will undo each other because the opposite of an opposite, the opposite of a negative is a positive. And so essentially you have 12 divided by 4, which is 3. And remember, in the context of this question, they said the units are in hundreds. So how many units maximize profits? On the graph and on the quadratic, that's just a 3. But in the real world context, we would write that as 300 units. There you go. That is A. And then they say, okay, that's awesome. Well, then what is that maximum profit? So now they're just saying, when you input this 3, what profit would it output? So you're just inputting 3 into your quadratic function. Remember, functions are all about inputs and outputs. So let's just substitute it in and see what we get. So we know we have profit, and instead of X, we said we're gonna put in 3. Don't make the mistake of putting in 300. Remember, that's not the system we built. So what is the profit when I put in 3? So you get negative 2, 3 squared plus 12 with a 3 minus 5. And I'll just write these calculations right below because it's pretty straightforward here. Okay, 3 squared is 9, and 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Negative 18 plus 36, 12 times 3 is 36, minus 5. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Negative 18 plus 36 is positive 18, and 18 minus 5 is 13. But remember, the question said the profit is in thousands. So this money is not just $13, it's $13,000. But on the graph, the context of the graph, we would just put this as a 13, okay? There you go, boom pow, that's question B. It says, will their profit be positive or negative if they produce 500 units? Okay, 500 units. So really what this is saying is just input a 5, and is my answer positive or negative? Will I make money? And what they're trying to get you to understand here is that, you know, as you go here, the profits go up, 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 up. Your profits make a maximum. And then your profits start going down. You're still making money. They're just not making as much, okay? So let's see here. All I'm going to do then is input a 5. So now I have P of 5. What is the profit when I input 5? Same ideas, just copy the question, copy the equation from right here. So we have a negative 2 times 5 squared plus 12 times 5 minus 5. Okay, let's take a look. 5 squared is 25. 25 times negative 2 is negative 50. Plus 12 times 5 is 60 minus 5. Okay, so let's see here. Negative 50 plus 60 is positive 10. Positive 10 minus 5 is 5. And in context, that would be the same as saying, that's the same as saying 5,000. Remember, it's in thousands. Sorry. So $5,000. So it is positive, right? So it is positive $5,000. Okay, so then the last part, it says, hey, your boss tells you she wants you to produce 600 units. Is this a good idea or bad idea? Justify your answer. So again, this time you're saying, well, let's find P of 6, okay? So we copy our quadratic equation. Negative 2, we put in a 6 squared plus 12 times 6 minus 5. Okay, so here we go. 6 squared is 36. 36 times negative 2 is negative 72. Plus 12 times 6 is 72 minus 5. That is, negative 72 plus negative 2 is 0. And 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So if you did that, remember, because the money is in thousands, if you did that, if you made 600 units, somehow you would actually make negative $5,000, right? So you have crossed this threshold and you would actually go negative. You start losing money. So you have to tell your boss, like, hey, boss, I don't think that's a good idea. We will lose money. And just to take this further, if you were trying to find those thresholds, basically, you would know that this x-intercept would tell you at what point you made a whole bunch of stuff essentially for nothing, okay? So that was what you don't want to cross that line. All right, there you go. That is question 3. The next video will be a level 4 question, a little bit harder. So please check it out if you want to practice. As always, be safe. Make good choices, be kind to yourself, and be kind to each other. Bye!